Hello and welcome again to Steve's Vintage Model Builds. I hope everyone's well. Thanks to all who are joining, and my subscribers in particular, returning viewers, and any others. I'm going to do something a little different today, and I'm going to start with, uh, as I mentioned in my last video on the Academy 135 M1151. I've got a new camera that has some additional features, and I'm going to make a concerted effort to improve the quality of the videos and the experience. I can't guarantee the complete elimination of ums and ahs, but I will do my best. All right, so I touched on this in the previous video as well, about talking to Peter Oxley, and the general discussion in the model community is in that there's not a lot of young people that really get involved in the hobby anymore. It's usually either people like me who worked hard all their lives and finally found themselves with both the money and the time in order to enjoy the hobby, and or others who have been hobbyists all along, and so but the demographic is getting older and it's not getting younger, and I would like to see that change. So if you know any young people who might be intimidated or might be interested, gain a lot from this hobby. It helps to focus. It helps you with your small motor skills. Helps you with your patience. We could all use a little more patience these days. And all sorts of things. You learn how to read instructions. You make mistakes, and then you learn. Don't do that again. Just like real life. And also, there's tremendous opportunities for fellowship and exchange of ideas and just having fun. Unfortunately, where I am, we're fairly isolated. There's only one hobby shop in town, and the next one, as I said before, is more than 100 kilometers away over a mountain. And there's nothing north of here. And Matt's shop is great, and I get a lot of stuff from Matt. I also get a lot of stuff from Amazon. Matt's able to order pretty much anything I want, but sometimes it just comes down to price. And so, anyways, for those just getting back into the hobby or just getting into the hobby, or for young people who might be interested, one of the great things about it is that there's so many different subjects, so many different scales. There's all sorts of hot cars, cool cars, ships, tanks, trucks, airplanes, spaceships, everything. So Bandai does really well with that. The younger people seem to be gravitated more toward that kind of stuff, the fantasy robot-y kind of stuff. I know my nephew in the Philippines, when we went to Japan, when we went to Shizuoka, and I said, well, I'm going to the Tamiya store. Is there anything you want? And so, anyways, he said, yeah. He said anything Bandai. And the Tamiya store, they do carry Bandai. Actually, no, not the Tamiya store. It's the Shizuoka Hobby Square, which is right next to the train station in Shizuoka. It's an easy walk, 5 minutes. And if you're ever down that way, it's certainly worth, even if you're only going to be in Tokyo and you've got some time on your hands, you can go down there about an hour and a half on the bullet train, an hour if you take the Nozomi, and there and back. And there's great restaurants in the station, and there's a big mall there, and as well as Shizuoka Hobby Square is right there. So it's really fabulous. And so anyways, yeah, so he said he wanted something Bandai, and I have no idea about that stuff. I mean, I've seen it, but I don't know about the different characters or what's desirable or whatever. And so anyway, so yeah, so I found these two particular kits. They weren't huge kits. Um, we didn't have a space was limited. It's, I, uh, I'm not going to go into it now, but anyways, you can see my rant from the Philippines trip about Cebu Pacific, and if you want, I'll put an end screen up on that as well. So, excuse me. Anyway, so I grabbed a couple there, and that looked cool and interesting, and I sent him pictures. And and he texted me back all excited. He said, "Wow, we don't even have those here yet. Can you bring them for me?" I said, "Sure, of course." So but yeah, the younger people seem to be, and I don't know, I guess he's in his early 30s. So, um, and they have a young son, so he'll bring him along into that kind of thing. I sent him some of the train stuff, and I'll send him some other stuff as well. Uh, Generally, once or twice a year, we send a big cargo box by sea. It takes about 6 weeks, but it's a big box, and there's no weight restriction. Just as much as you can put in there. If it fits in the box, it's good to go, and it only costs about $120. So yeah, we usually send one at Christmas time or before Christmas, so they get it in time for Christmas, and then and one a little later in the year. Usually, we go buy stuff and then accumulate it, and then when there's enough for a box, we send a box. So, and they always really appreciate that. They're not poor; they're solid middle class, even on the upper end. But they appreciate stuff to be sent from Canada, and the sisters in California, they send stuff too. So they love Toblerone. Yeah, Toblerone. They'll never say no to Toblerone, that's for sure. Okay, and so yeah, so there's a variety of scales, and there's all sorts of different kits, different skill levels, so on and so forth. Um, but when it comes to for most model makers, if you ask them, the most difficult kind of class of kit are the ships, and they can be a real challenge. Sometimes because of manufacturing quality, or poor manufacturing quality might be a better way to put it. And others can be highly complex and extremely intricate, especially when you get into doing rigging and things like that. But again, you can take that to whatever level you want to, and it doesn't. Like Zinzan says, if I can do it, you can do it, and that goes 10 times for me. If I can do it, you can do it. So if you think you'd like to build a ship, then I'm going to start by recommending the one we're going to look at today, as well as the USS Yorktown aircraft carrier kit. I'm going to turn this down now so we can see. So both are 1/700 kits. Both are sorry about that. Both are Waterline series kits, and this is the one we're gonna I'm gonna build today, or it's going to be in two parts. There's going to be the build, and then there's going to be the painting and decaling. So as we'll see, it's not a very complicated kit. Nice box art, beautiful battleship. Unfortunately, it has the dubious distinction of being the first battleship to be sunk by aircraft alone at the Battle of Malaya, off the coast of Singapore. You can see in the back here, you can see the oil tankers, depots, the Singapore Tower, or no, that's another ship, sorry. And there's another little ship there. This isn't signed that I can see, but to me, lovely box art. It's beautiful stuff. And so these are the two that did the deed. well, the two kinds. There were obviously more than two of them. One's a torpedo bomber. The other is like a heavy bomber, not a dive bomber particularly, but yeah. So I'll put up an end screen of the review of this kit that I did originally. I got it about a year and a half ago. It was $56. There was no tax, but there was import duty fee of $6. So it was $50 plus the import duty fee, which actually worked out to be less than what normal Canadian tax would be. It worked out to be about 9% versus 12 or 15. I don't even know. We pay so much in tax, I don't even bother to keep track anymore. And now they want the government to be filing our taxes for us. You know, next step from there is here, we'll take it all and then we'll give you back what we think you should have. That's all I'm going to say about that. And and today is Sunday, and it is Grey Cup Sunday in Canada. And the Grey Cup Championship is Canada's national football championship, not soccer, Canadian football, which is like American football, but there are some differences. And it's also just about the only sport left in Canada that's still the field is measured in yards, not meters. And so, yeah. So I don't know if you're interested in football at all. The major differences are that the size of the field for U.S. football is 100 yards. They meet in the middle at the 50-yard line. And whereas with Canada, it's 110 yards. So there's a 50-yard line, and then 5 yards out, there's a center line, and then 5 yards in, there's a 50-yard line. And the other one is that there's only 3 downs in Canadian football, whereas in the U.S. they have 4 chances to make the 10 yards. In Canada, you only have 3 chances. So that results in a lot of 2 downs, kick it, 2 downs, kick it, 2 downs, kick it. But I'm not going to get into that anymore. But yeah, it's fun, and it's our tradition, and the Grey Cup's been around for an awful long time, just like the Stanley Cup for hockey. And and it's being held in Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Montreal Alouettes this year, and it's being held, I believe, I think it's still Taylor Field in Saskatchewan. And for a short period, I did live in Saskatchewan, in Regina, and went to quite a few football games with the Rough Riders. Okay, so on to what we're doing today. So here we are, and set these aside. So this is the Waterline series, and so it's a flat bottom. And obviously, some people really like to have the full hull, and put it up on a cradle with a nice plaque. But what's great about these is they just go right up on the shelf, and they're great for dioramas. You don't have to carve out styrofoam and all that kind of stuff. So, and in this case, the hull's also in one piece, which will make it easier for assembly. And you've got nice little guards here, so the point doesn't get broken. And there's not a lot of detail. There's some portholes there, and there it is. So that's that. Then we've got 3 of each type of aircraft. And there's torpedoes for the torpedo bombers, and all sorts of antennas, and they come with a stand, and we'll see later. how that works. These these are designed obviously to be on the stands, so there's no landing gear. They're meant to be in flight. And then we have a sprue bag here, which has the front portion of the hull, motor launches, turrets, smaller guns, doodads. Here we have the, they give you 2 of these, and you have to cut them into 3. So there you go. And we have this sprue bag. We have a decal kit. And boy, if you want to fine tune your painting skills and decaling skills, you can have fun putting these on the 1700 aircraft. And then we get this as well. It's a weight, a very substantial weight. And you'll see when I take this apart, there's an area that it fits into on the bottom. I wouldn't be interested in doing it, but if you did it right, excuse me, if you did it right, this would probably float. And if you were of a particular inclination, you could probably figure out a way to put a motor on it and run it around in your pond. Okay, so here we've got 3 sprues, 3 sprue racks, plus the hull and base. I'm not going to rush this, but I'm not going to take a lot of time on it either. So I'll just read this very briefly. They've got a lot of information here, as you can see. You've got a map of the battle, and you've got quite a lengthy description here. Yes. Oh, and before I proceed, I'm going to take a drink of water. So yeah, you gotta let me zoom in on this. And yeah, I was going to say as well, there, that'll do for now. As I said in the previous video, I've got a new camera. And I'm still learning all the settings and everything. It has pan, it has tilt, it has zoom, gain, whatever that is. It's got contrast and brightness and all sorts of fun stuff. And so I'm going to do my best to do appropriate lighting as well. So I appreciate people's patience while I work through those things. Unlike the video from the other day, I actually it was yesterday. I have brushed the lint off my shirt. I went back and looked at it. I went, oh my God, my wife's gonna die when she sees I did that. So, anyways, yeah. So we get a nice map here as well as a chronology. And it was, coming up to this time of year, and an extensive write-up. I'm just going to read the first part. Immediately after the outbreak of the Pacific War, the British faced an unexpected loss when on 10th December 1941 they heard the shocking news that their new powerful battleship, the Prince of Wales, had been sunk off the east coast of the Malay Peninsula. Sir Winston Churchill, Britain's wartime Prime Minister, was quoted as saying that the loss of the Prince of Wales was one of the greatest shocks that he experienced during the war. The Prince of Wales, before that, was also involved in the pursuit of the Bismarck battleship, and she did take, which is, that was Bismarck claimed the Hood in the same action, and she took she took hits as well. Okay, so what we have here is we have 10 steps. Okay, and this is another reason that I'm, suggesting this for someone who is just getting into the hobby. Excuse me. Because it's 10 steps. I mean, it shouldn't take me long to get through all these little boats. I'm not going to do those today because they all have to be individually primed and painted, and it'll be easy, very easy to put them on at the end. You also get a walrus float plane, and there's a crane for that. So, not pretty good value. I mean, I wouldn't want to pay much more than $56 for it. They want like $79 plus tax plus shipping, $12 shipping on Amazon now. So I did all right with that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use Tamiya extra thin cement. And so let's crack on with it. There's all sorts of different brands of cement out there as well, and you just have to find what works best for you. Some work better for other applications, and which I'm going to show in a moment. But for the most part, I'm going to be using the Tamiya extra thin. It's great cement. The only thing about it is that it dries so darn quickly. And so if you're doing something big like this, that makes it awkward, because by the time you get down to the end, this part's already dry. So I remember to keep my This particular part is fairly soft plastic, so you want to be very careful. That goes there. And I'm going to use this Revell Contacta. Back up the zoom again. There we go. Revel Contacta. And this is kind of cool. It has an applicator here. And it takes a little bit of practice to get to know how to use this. But once you do, it's great cement, and it's perfect for a lot of different applications. So as you can see, it's kind of oozing out there now. And basically all you want to do is let gravity do the work. So for an application like this, it's great. And you know, it's a lot like laying a bead down of what do you call it? A bead of caulking or whatever. The other criticism of it was that oops, there you go. The other criticism of it was that um, the applicator here the glue can sometimes dry inside of it, and so that creates a problem. But all you do is you just take a lighter or hold it over a candle, and poof, it'll clear itself up. It'll burn itself off, and no, it won't explode. Although be very careful. Come on, Kev. And also with Christmas coming, I'm going to be putting up a few more uh, there. Putting up a few more cooking videos. Gonna do some Christmas cookies. A few other things. Okay. And then we've got this piece. I'm going to set that aside, let that dry a bit. And these are labeled K, and they look like they're partially drilled, but there's nothing. Okay, well, we'll just follow the instructions and take it from there. And the other thing is, for the paint scheme on this, you could do the camouflage if you're more experienced, or if you just want to give it a try, or it wouldn't be a crime just to leave it in Battleship gray. So now, we want going to be working with A and C sprue racks. And one B, two Bs. Excuse me. Okay, so this is A. A1. You see those guys? Teeny tiny. So how many? We got 3 A1s and 1 A5. There it is. Okay. Okay, and so, oops, we got a bent piece there. We'll fix that later. Okay, so for these, they've got little nibs sticking up to go down into the holes. Sorry for the upside down instructions. So we're gonna put it on the surface with those little nibs sticking up, and very carefully, you want to keep your finger over these, because if you don't, when you cut, it's going to go flying and you're never going to find them. All you'll hear is the burp from the carpet monster. And some people like the foam mats. I like this glass one. I like a more solid surface to cut into. I know it's not great for your knives, but I got so many X-Acto knife blades coming out my ears. Come on now. One, two. One, two, three. Get this. And you got 1, 2, 3. So come on, get over there. Why they put us through this little torture, I don't know, but there. Now we got A5, which is here. Okay, there we go. And there's some glue marks there, but those will go away once the primer's on. Don't have to worry about that. Okay, now we have A6 and A7, which I think are here. Yes, A6. And A7. Okay. And now if you had a full hull, you probably have to clamp that off or tape it off and leave it overnight. And just a little bit of and if you're not sure about the flash, you can hold it up to the light a bit and you can usually see. I always give it a little scrape anyways. Got any coming out there? No. Okay, so I have a chance to demonstrate this. See a little flare up there? That means you're good to go. or it should. And if you're new to modeling, you want to try and put things on the inside surface if you can. One of the great things about this cement is that you can put your piece on like this, and you just put it on like that. Okay, and we'll just hold that for a moment to set. Wipe that off for a minute. Fill that little gap with glue. And the good thing about the variety of scales is that, I mean, especially as we get older, the hands get a little shakier and the eyes get a little, excuse me. But you can move to a larger scale to make it easier on yourself. And so all of these extra things that are painted differently, these little rafts, the life rafts, the anchors, they can go on after. And like I said, I'm going to do those. Those will be done in part 2 or part 3. Okay, so we're good to go there. Not that I'll forget, but I make a little note. Those still have to be done. Okay, so next steps we need we're going to need C25. There's 2 of C27 and B19 and 20 and C7 and C6. That'll get painted separately. Trust me, you want to do that separately and then put them on. You don't want to put them on and then try and paint them. And there. That's a little better, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got sprue rack C, C5, no, C25. This is there. And the extra weight is nice too, with that weight in there. You know, if the cat brushes by it on the way on the shelf. Okay, I know we're upside down here again, but you want to make sure you're facing the right way. Tamiya is really good about this. Hardly ever will you be able to put it in the wrong way. As always, do the dry fit. And C27. 2 of those there. And I'm just looking up to see when this was tooled. '75 with some new parts in '76. So a venerable old classic for sure. Okay. Make sure to line this up. Okay, and then we've got B19 and 20. Here we go. There's B19 and 20. Excuse me. I've also got a really old video. I'll put an end screen on. Well, not that old, a year or so, about the basic tools if you're just getting started. You know, you don't have to go all gonzo. You don't have to go all gonzo and spend a whole bunch of money on all sorts of fancy tools. As I learned, um, get the basics of what you need. There we go. Get the basics of what you need, and then you'll discover what things you need. And if you're going to be painting your model kits, which most people will, I expect, you just want to get decent brushes. I'm struggling a bit here because of the light. I mean, this isn't the normal light I'm used to working with, so again, please bear with me. Excuse me. Okay, and there's going to be some rafts that go on there, and then we've got C7. C7, where are you? That would be on the C sprue rack. There we go, C7. And you can get fancy sanding sticks and all sorts of stuff like that. I find these to be very useful. You can get them at the discount store. Also, those little manicure sets that, they have tweezers and things to push back your cuticles and things like that. So they're handy. Uh-oh. Well, so much for making holes from the inside, like they tell you to do. Way to go, Kev. Okay, so we need 2 holes. Why they're different sizes? Well, because the things for the pieces are different sizes. And why they did that, I don't know. So, okay, so let's see. See if that's for that one. And then there. Next one up. Nope. There we go. Okay. And so this is called a pin vise. And the 2.5 is at the front. Or at the back, actually. I expect. Yeah. Okay. So you can kind of see where they've been partially. Sorry for the background noise there. It sounds like my wife's talking to the family in California. Our niece has a new boyfriend. Only her second boyfriend. Okay. Now come on. And I guess it's the next bigger one up. See if I can get away with this. No, the lazy man's way hardly ever works. Okay. And I mean, if you are just starting out in the hobby, a great way to do get the tools is to buy a set. I got a set. I think these came with it, and it was very reasonably priced. It had all sorts of different kinds of tweezers. Um, you can go on Amazon or whatever you have in your world. And that'll save you some money from excuse me, buying everything individually. Okay, try this again, Kev. Oh, for heaven's sake. That's still not big enough. Thought I eyeballed it good enough, but I guess not. There. It's still not big enough. My goodness. Okay. There. For heaven's sake. I haven't worked with these very much, so I'm not that, even though it shows on the thing here, I'm not that familiar. Okay. There we go. Okay, gun gets painted separate. And oh, there's another bomber here. Here we've got the walrus. I'm going to do this last because it's a tiny little piece and it's sure to get lost. So we're going to wait on the walrus. And we're back to sprue B. And we have B22 here. B22. B23. B24. Higher number goes off to the side there so I know which is which. B30 and B32. B32, and B30. So my subscribers and friends know that I'm a Tamiya guy, um, but I also love ICM, um, especially their newer stuff in the last 5 years or so. Um, but for the most part, if you're just starting out, you can't really go wrong with Tamiya kits. As a matter of fact, some people in the community criticize them. They call them shake and bake kits. You basically just take all the parts off the sprue racks, pour it in the box, shake it up, and pour it out, and your kit's done. Okay, so B23 goes here, but you'll always get a kit. You'll always get a kit that's well engineered, where the instructions are clear and precise for the most part. And something that's not going to be too much of a challenge to build up. Maybe that's not the best way to put it. A better way to put it would be, it goes together the way you'd expect it to. There's no big, huge surprises. Things that don't fit, things that don't make sense, all that kind of stuff. And even here, I'll give you an example. I don't know if you can see it. But for this part here, it's not just a square, it's a square with a little pin. And for the part that goes on here, there's a tiny little, I don't know if you can see, there's a tiny little notch there. Can you see that? So, it's pretty impossible to put it on the wrong way. And I've done it, others have done it, where one time Zinzan was doing something, and somebody I think I may have and he was having terrible time with this one part, and he got it on and got it together, and then somebody wrote in the comment, well, you put that on backwards. So, I mean, we've all done it. Now, can I slide that in there? There you go. I should have put that in first, but there we go. Excuse me. And B34 and B35. B34 and B34 and B35. The other thing too is that a lot of thought goes into the Tamiya engineering, even the older kits. And so, as a result, it's almost impossible to put things on wrong. Okay. And this presents some nice contour. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we're up over an hour here now, so I think we'll end up doing this in 3 parts, and I'll finish most of this step. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. There we go. I guess those are probably air intakes. Okay, so that subassembly is completed. And so where are we at here? Which way is up? This is the front. Okay, that goes there. Jesus. That goes on there. And we have C5. And that goes there. Time to quit for the day. I'm getting shaky. There we go. I've been very fortunate, in spite of some other health problems I've had. My eyes are great, although I have to wear glasses. And my hands aren't too shaky. And if like now they get shaky, then and it's time to stop. Okay, so except for the boats and the rafts, we completed the first 2 steps, and then the next video will be me priming the boats, and I'll probably do the aircraft at the same time, priming and painting up the boats. So this might turn into a little more than it might even go into 4. So depending on how I decide to organize it, and if I can stitch things together on OBS Studio. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks very much. As you can see, this is a pretty simple and straightforward model. We've got decking detail. There's certain challenge to reading the instructions properly. So yeah. Next video will be on probably priming and painting the boats, and then we'll be moving on to step 3, 4, 5. These won't take very long at all. 6, and da 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 da, and off we go. And here you can see how these will work. You need to use CA glue for that. Okay. Well, that's it for today. Thanks very much. I appreciate everybody's time, and please feel free to leave any comments. I welcome them, and I welcome being corrected if I've made a mistake, and I'm also open to any other new ideas and so forth. Happy to have people express their opinions, as long as it's done in a respectful manner. Okay, which is what everybody should expect all the time. And unfortunately, that's not what we get. Okay, so back in the box. Keep things like this away from Catzilla. There we go. And we'll do some more work on that tomorrow. Bye now.